Yo, what's up guys? Derek here with another Devil May Cry 5 video. And today we're going to be doing an introductory combo guide for Dante, starting out with his basic weapon attacks and Swordmaster moves. And we're going to be using this video as a foundation, and in future videos we're going to be exploring and incorporating other style moves and more advanced techniques. So this is going to be part one of a series that we're going to be working on over the next couple weeks. So let's dive in. I have Devil Sword Dante loaded up here. Now for the sake of these videos, and for this video in particular, I'm going to be grouping all the swords into one. Rebellion, Sparta, and Devil Sword Dante. Now, Devil Sword Dante is obviously different from the other two, but even though things are a little bit moved around, for the most part the move list is identical. So it just makes sense at least from this basic overview that we're going to be doing, if we just consider them as one single weapon. Now, of course, Devil Sword Dante does have his different sword formations that are used with the various Swordmaster techniques. We're going to be leaving those aside for this particular video, and then we're going to be exploring them in a future video. So with all that said, let's dive in and start taking a look at the move list in a little bit more detail. Alright, now because this is a combo guide and an introduction to aerial juggles, it doesn't make sense to do an exhaustive overview of Dante's entire move list. So rather, I'm going to highlight some of the specific moves and aerial attacks, because these are the tools which we're going to use to build and put our combos together. So kicking things off with the sword, obviously you have Tie Time, which is one of the best launchers in the game. You have Prop Shredder, which is also a really good launching move as well. Once you're in the air, you have the aerial rave combo, and then of course there is Helmbreaker. Then when you switch over to Balrog, now just a quick tip, in general when I'm using Balrog, I prefer to stay in kick mode and really only switch over to blow mode if I want to do a specific combo, if I want to use the air attack for example, or if I want to use real impact. But primarily, kick mode is my default. It's a lot faster, it has a much faster launcher, and as well it has a lot more mobility with moves like the back style attack, and also friction is probably one of the best aerial attacks, if not the best aerial attack in the game. So just a quick overview, we already have the launcher which I mentioned, we have friction, and then of course we have the style attack which is the double kicks, which I think is called Updraft or Rising Storm, something to that effect. Any case, next up we have blow mode. Now it does have a launcher when you're in Swordmaster, but it is really slow and a little bit cumbersome, so you probably won't see it used that often. You have the Featherlight combo, which is 3 hits. Now the first push of the button is 2 hits, and then the second button press, or the third hit, will cause that downward punch, which is a knockdown. And then of course you have the style attack. Okay, next up we have Cerberus. Now Cerberus is really straightforward. He has his basic swing move and revolver, which are both from DMC3, and then he has his style move, which is pole play. Okay, and next up we have Cavalier. Now of course I'm using Cavalier R, of course, for Redline, because that is a super cool move. The back plus attack button when you're in the air, which is that move, is really useful, because not only does it gain a lot of air, but it also can combo right into the other Cavalier attacks. So that's the air combo 1, which is a really useful move. Now the thing with this move that you want to keep in mind is that it has a really awkward hitbox, so unless the move actually hits the enemy directly, you're not going to get the full effect of the attack. So there we were able to actually hit the enemy and we actually got the full attack. And then of course the air-to-air style move, which is air combo B, which is this full sequence here. Okay, and those are the moves, those are the building blocks that we're going to be using to put our combos together. The next thing I want to show you is what I call combo strings. So all in all, there are 7 weapons in the game, and you can hold anywhere from 1 to all 7 of them. So because there are seemingly infinite amount of different types of weapon combinations, it doesn't make sense to do an exhaustive overview of all the different variations and all the things you can do with all of these combos, because that could take hours or potentially even years. There's so many different combo routes being discovered by the combo monsters and the artists online every single day. So instead, I'm just going to introduce you to a very simple concept, which is called a combo string. Now, a combo string is a short sequence of moves that are combined together, normally with a launcher into a really quick string or series of attacks with a few jump cancels. And what those form is the building blocks of your combos. A combo is essentially just a collection of different combo strings. So I'll show you what I mean with a few examples with some of the different weapons here. Okay, next I want to talk to you a little bit about jump canceling, and specifically when you're switching weapons in the middle of a combo. Now, hopefully you're familiar with jump canceling, and if you're not, there's another YouTuber by the name of Chaser Tech. He has made a fantastic video explaining the ins and outs of jump canceling in DMC5, and years ago, over a decade ago, I made my own jump canceling tutorial for DMC3. I will put the links for both of those videos in the description below. What I want to talk about here is when you have more than one weapon equipped and you're doing one sequence of attacks into another. Now, because Devil May Cry 5's combat system is so flexible, you actually don't need to do a jump cancel there. You can literally just change weapons and input the next attack, and the system has so much flexibility that it will just cancel the animation of the first attack will cancel right into the animation of the second attack. Okay, so to help illustrate my point, I'm going to show you two sample combos here. Just a short aerial rave into Balrog's Featherlight combo, and the first time here I'm going to do it without a jump cancel. So that's just canceling one animation right into the next attack. This time I am going to use a jump cancel. Now, visually, it doesn't look like there's a big difference there. And from an execution standpoint, this is a little bit trickier to do because you're adding the extra jump input. However, I would recommend that this is the best course of action, and I think it's something that you should start practicing and build into your everyday combo repertoire. Primarily, there's two reasons why you would want to add that additional jump cancel. The first is that it maintains height, and to show you an example, here's just a quick sample combo with Balrog, where we're going to transition between these two different stances to see how much height we actually lose. There, you see how quickly we actually lost height throughout that sequence? That was only maybe about 4 attacks, and we're already on the ground. So let's do that same or similar sequence, but this time add jump cancels. So the enemy's falling, yes, but Dante's height actually stayed consistent throughout that entire sequence. And there are moves that you can use to actually bring the enemy back up. So ideally, falling is never a good thing, especially if you're a freestyle player or you're trying to be a freestyle player. If you are completely surrounded by a bunch of enemies and you're trying to juggle, you don't want to be losing altitude. In fact, you actually want to be doing the opposite and going higher. So that's the first reason. Okay, now the second reason, and what I think is the most important, is that the jump cancel will ensure you get the move that you want when you want it. And to illustrate that, I'm going to give you a quick example. So right there, just a quick short aerial combo into Dante's taunt, and you'll notice I pressed the select button to get the taunt, but unfortunately the move didn't come out because my timing was a little bit off. But this time, if I use a jump cancel, notice that I actually canceled out the animation of the attack I was doing, and the Rose Taunt came out right away. And you know, sometimes if you're in the heat of things or in the heat of the moment, things are going on, you know, you've taken a few hits and you're about to die, your adrenaline is pumping, you know, whatever the reason might be, your timing might be a little bit off. So adding in the jump cancel will cancel out the last few animations of whatever move you're doing and ensure that the next move that you want comes out right away. So from an execution standpoint, a little bit easier, but if you can practice and incorporate this into your gameplay, it will help ensure that you're getting the right moves that you want and that they're coming out when you want them. Okay guys, and last but not least, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about weapon order. Now, there's seemingly infinite amount of combinations because you have 7 weapons, you have 7 slots, so there's all kinds of different orders that are possible. But what I wanted to touch on was the most conventional, or the ones that you see most commonly online as people using. Now, for 3 weapons, you most commonly see Sword, and then Balrog, and then the 3rd weapon, either Cerberus or Cavalier. And I think that's very popular because of that was the weapon order in DMC3. It was Rebellion, it was the Gilgamesh Gauntlets, and then the 3rd weapon, I'm sorry, I don't know the name. So those are the ones you most commonly see for 3 weapons, and then for 4, again, you normally have the Sword, you have the Gauntlets, you have Cerberus, and then Cavalier. So that's what you see most commonly online. That's what I'm most comfortable with, and that's what I use when I am using all 4 weapons, which is, you know, is from time to time, occasionally. But of course, there's an alternative method as well, which I thought was really interesting, and I saw someone using it online, which was Sword, Cerberus, then the Gauntlets, and then Cavalier. And I really like that because it made some really interesting combo routes possible when you do have all 4 weapons. The primary reason was so the individual could go from the Killer Bee or the Friction Dive Kick, and then do a double weapon press over to the Sword to do Aerial Rave. So that's what they wanted to do, and they used this particular setup to make that more consistent, because doing a double switch is, you know, still possible. That's a really common technique from DMC4. A triple switch, not so much. So in any case, I just wanted to weigh in and provide my 2 cents on the topic. I'm going to close out this video now with some different combo strings using all 4 weapons, basically incorporating all the topics and all the things that we've discussed in the video so far. I'm going to start working on part 2 right away, and I'm hoping to get that done before the end of next week. Part 2, we're going to incorporate more of the Devil Sword Dante sword formations, and we're going to take a look at some of the more advanced stuff, and of course start incorporating some of the other styles as well to really start beefing up our combos and really making things stylish. Sorry, I had to. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you all for the support. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button because it really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.